Good morning and welcome to episode 103, as we're going to be giving you updates in the NFL. There's some college football updates as well, and we have NBA and NHL playoff updates. If you're not watching either one of those, then you are crazy because those are absolutely good. So Cover 2 Cook's going to give you the analyst part of it. So let's get it started.
Yeah, I was going to do a vertical jump there. Thank you, Socks.
Travel been to Indiana, and did Cover 2 Cook get you a good hotel?
Indiana? No, I'm in Louisiana. I'm here for Mardi Gras.
I know that this might be hard, but I don't know how much you remember Friday night since we left you damn near when you fell asleep.
I got my belly full, man. I was like, I warm covers and warm. I was like, I could go to sleep right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jack Dorsey.
Final answer?
Yes. All right.
This is going to be a long fucking day.
All right. Thank you so much for joining episode 103. We have some NFL news going on today. Unfortunately, sad news in the NFL. Jim Irsay, the owner of the Indianapolis Colts, has passed away kind of unexpectedly. We know he's had some health situations in the past, but nothing where we thought it was going to happen soon. What did you think about that, or what did you think when you heard about that?
Yeah, it's kind of sad because, you know, he's been battling addiction, whether it be alcohol or drugs or both. You know, he was kind of a person that was very loud, not really loud, but he was outspoken. I mean, he was kind of a person that just kind of talked off the cuff and everything. And his dad was the one that moved that team from Baltimore to Indianapolis.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he had to have the repercussions behind that of, you know, his dad moving in the middle of the night from Baltimore to Indianapolis without telling the fans or anything. They just moved him. It was sad. What I heard too was he had a hell of a guitar collection.
Yep.
So that's something that, and now that the girls are going to run it. Will the girls run it, or they're just going to run it for a little bit and then there could be a possible sale there?
Yeah, I think when I first saw it, I thought of Pat McAfee, just because he has a national television, and he was very outspoken about the Colts this year, but the relationship he had with Jim Irsay was no other. And when you watched it today, you heard his emotion behind it. I definitely agree. Like, Jim Irsay is kind of one of those Jerry Jones where they're very outspoken owners. Not a lot of owners kind of get out in front of the camera unless they have to. But Irsay kind of reminded me of, like, if I was an owner, right? Like, he kind of said some things off the cuff that you're like, all right, you know, like, okay, I don't know if I'd say that. But he was passionate about the Indianapolis Colts, appreciated everything. He was great with what the community wanted. It is sad to see. I think also, too, it's really sad because of what year they had. I did see that Peyton Manning kind of expressed his words. I think that's one of those things where you wonder if Peyton kind of regrets not showing the initiative to kind of come back to the Colts industry.
Right.
He's always been Denver Broncos ever since he left, and everything's been Broncos. So not coming back to the Colts, I wonder if there was a little bad blood. I don't know. I mean, there's no speculation on that, but yeah, definitely sad news to hear about yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, and also a team that could have probably been winning a lot more had Andrew Luck not retired so suddenly. Yep. And that's sad that, you know, he had that player there and he just didn't win any more than what he did.
Yeah, Andrew Luck definitely threw a wrench in that plans because they moved on from Peyton because of Andrew. So the tush push was voted on and it's still okay to go. I did laugh. The only team, or the team that brought this to the voting, was the only team that does not have an owner, the Green Bay Packers, because everyone was speculating that no owner wanted to put their name on it. At the same time, once it got passed, they're going to keep it. Then the Philadelphia Eagles post out there, the tush push keeps going on and is against the Green Bay Packers. I don't know why we would get rid of this play. Just because one team is really good at it and nobody else can find a way to master it. The only reason I would say going against it is because when you go to kick a field goal, you can't have someone behind the nose guard to rush, and you can't rush the center. All these other speculations of safety, but then this is a scrummage, and we're not worried about safety. Last thing I'll say about that, too, is quarterbacks get hurt for other reasons. Like, just because the Eagles have a guy that can squat 600 pounds, it's why it works so well for them.
Right.
But yeah, what did you think about hearing that they're going to keep that one?
I think if anything, I don't think you get rid of it. I did see somebody say maybe limit it, that you can only do like 3 a game.
Yeah, you can't.
I mean, I don't see eliminating it. Hey, stop it. Stop
Yep.
it. Try to stop it. I mean, hey, you guys can't stop it. Why penalize a person that can deadlift 600 pounds when, he's got the legs of a linebacker?
Yeah.
But you're going to penalize. Stop the play. Stop the play. That's
Yeah.
all it is.
Well, and it doesn't help too when you got Saquon Barkley, that's as strong as he is, now
Right.
behind him, pushing him. I think it's going to take a serious injury. I think it's going to take a neck injury, a back injury before they're like, okay, now we're here. I mean, we saw in the playoffs the Commanders. Oh my, outside the wrong team. The Commanders jumped off sides like 4 times in a row trying to break that, and it came out one of those situations where you were wondering, when are you going to eventually find a way to beat it? And the only way to beat it is just putting linebackers up there. You can't jump over because then you lose the motion. I mean, I don't know how you beat it. So, and you know what? There's all these analytics in the game. Find a way to analytically beat this play then.
Yeah, you're right.
In other news, Aiden Hutchinson has been fully cleared after breaking his leg. I think this is a huge bonus for the Lions, sooner than what they thought, but I think he'll play a little bit different. What did you hear? What did you think about hearing about this?
Yeah, that's good. I mean, now he's clear to play. I mean, he got the clear bill of health. I mean, I think that's so. I mean, now he can. I assume that he can resume practicing and stuff like that, or
yeah, that's what they said. They said that he's now able to start going live in practice and things like that. You did see the video at was it postseason last year where he was fully sprinting and people were like, okay, here he comes. Mm-hmm. That's a lot different than being fully cleared. Yeah. Because taking a hit to that leg, things like that, he plays a position where they chop block very often. Yeah. Yep. So I hope it doesn't mess with his head. I hope he can have a full offseason where the mind games kind of go away. I do think it's going to take one of those, just like Aaron Rodgers talked about. I needed to take a hit just to know that my Achilles is going to hold up.
Right.
Aiden Hutchinson's going to have to take a hit where he's going to be like, okay, my leg's going to hold up, because it is. Once you break, I can only imagine. I've never broke a serious bone like that.
Right.
If you would break something like that, you're thinking about that next time it comes like that.
Right. Oh, most definitely. So, I mean, that's good. I mean, he'll have the whole season, the whole preseason to get ready, and let's see what he's got,
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't rush him for postseason because he is a franchise player. So now him getting an offseason, he'll be in shape for the regular season.
Yep.
Brock Purdy opens up the Brink truck and gets 5 years, $265 million contract. He did put a point after he got this and talked about it, saying that he's glad that the money still allows the 49ers to build around them. Well, that probably because of Puka's comments on a podcast saying that, well, now your window's over because you had to pay your quarterback. I think Brock Purdy getting this money, it had to happen because of the success he's had. But we will see these next couple years whether that money was worth it or not. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, here's another. I mean, Shanahan's going to have to do a lot of magic with this kid, with this guy, because they lost Debo, they've lost some people. So here's the deal, and like he said, now they can still go after people with this contract. They've it gives enough to go out and get some players as well.
Yeah, I think I'm losing it there, bud. No, I definitely agree. I think they have to go out and get players if Brock Purdy on this side, because of the way that the team is situated now. With Christian McCaffrey not knowing the future for him, Debo Samuel gone, George Kittle's getting older. I don't care if he's the highest paid tight end. He's getting older. Right. You're going to have to find some of that young magic. And then at the same time, they go and trade, was it Mason, the backup running back, to the Vikings? Yeah. So it kind of didn't make sense because you got to keep some of that young talent now that you don't know what the future of this team is going to be. Like you said, they're going to have to draft well, and I'm sorry until I see a better draft out of them when they went for the quarterback. I can't think of his name. that's been on 10 teams. Trey Lance.
Right.
Like ever since that, I'm questioning every draft pick. So they have to draft really well to now make that team what it is.
Well, and also too, Anthony, they have the easiest schedule in the NFL this year.
Yeah.
So I mean, that does help them get their footing back into maybe making the playoffs. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, I think they have a good chance of making the playoffs because I think Seattle, the way that what they did this year, I don't see how they take a step forward. I don't think Sam Darnold's the guy to take a step forward. Yeah. The Rams have what the Rams are. I think they're in a transition kind of period. And then what's their other team that's in that conference? It's
Arizona.
Yeah, well, that's why I forgot because who cares?
Yeah.
Arizona's going to have to – Kyler Murray's going to have to be a whole different athlete. But that actually takes us to our next segment, and this one's going to be a fun segment. Who would be on our Olympic flag football team since the NFL players have been authorized that they're able to play? I'm going to let you go first, or do you want me to go first on my team?
You go first. You go first.
All right. Well, starting at quarterback, I know this one's a little questionable. I got to get someone that's a little mobile, but also has an arm on him. People are going to say Pat Mahomes. I'm not saying Pat Mahomes. I'm saying Lamar Jackson.
Oh,
can you imagine this man with flags on being able to juke and jive and getting the ball out of his hands? I like Lamar Jackson in this one. For running back, you can have one running back or multiple. I had a couple of different options, but my first one's got to be Jahmyr Gibbs. The agility on him, being able to move left and right, because you got to remember, you're not going to run the ball as much. It's going to be a lot of passing. Jahmyr Gibbs or Bijan Robinson. Guys are very mobile, athletic, jump over people, juke and jive to get that flag. At wide receiver, I'm going with my man, Justin Jefferson.
I figured that.
And then I'm going to bring his LSU buddy as well. And I'm saying Jamar Chase. I think those combo is just crazy. You got the one-handed, go up and get the ball kind of guy with Justin Jefferson, and then probably the best route runner in the NFL with Jamar Chase at center. Now this one, you don't want an offensive lineman out there because their person that's going to rush is probably going to be an athletic linebacker. I want someone that's used to blocking linebackers. I'm saying George Kittle or Brock Bowers.
Wow.
Someone that can do that, but also at the same time, say Justin's he's getting tired. Jamar's getting tired. You could throw those guys out there and catch the ball as well. They're athletic. They're able to go up and get the ball. Maybe you sub out your center when you're in the goal line and you throw it up to one of them. That is my offensive Olympic team. Who do you got for yours?
You know, I really thought you were going to go with Patty Mahomes. You know, and so I was going to go with somebody else. I got to go with Patty Mahomes, but a close 1B, Jaden Daniels.
Oh,
that guy can move around, and flag football, you got to juke and jive, and he can also throw the ball down the field. We've seen it against the Bears, 70-yard deal. I mean, they both can. You got to almost go with Jaden Daniels just for the simple fact he's younger.
Yeah. Well, and
I think you just Mahomes is your guy. But boy, it was really close when I was going with that. Running back, you got to go with the 2,000-yard runner from last year. When he turns around and jumps backwards, that's a guy that you could do as a running back.
Okay.
I thought for wide receiver, Justin Jefferson, I did like him.
Yep.
How about Tyreek Hill?
Ooh,
from Miami. Quick. He could get off the ball and run down the field. Malik Neighbors, I think, would be another good one for the Giants. He's an LSU guy. Center. I thought about this one. And then we were talking off air about, you really don't need a center. You can just have a linebacker or whatever. You know who I would ask as a retired person?
Kelsey.
Jason Kelsey.
Yeah.
Your center.
Yeah.
Because I think he could get ready for that. I mean, he's been retired for a couple years, but if you give him enough time, I think he would bring personality on the game itself.
Yeah.
I think he would be awesome as a center. And and he can still block too. I mean,
And you got to think the Olympics is in 3 years. We're saying today's game. So I think Jaden Daniels and Malik Neighbors is a great one because in 3 years they could be the face of the NFL. Right. As well, I saw someone say that. I also saw for center, someone said Micah Parsons. I think that's a solid one. I saw all these people give their people and stuff like that. Christian McCaffrey was a running back that people said with his agility.
I almost thought about him too, CMC. I almost thought about him too, but he gets hurt too much. So I'm like, I don't know.
And I take Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley if you can run people over. But being agile, I think it is. Wide receiver, other honorable mentions that I heard was CD Lamb in there. I did see Tyreek. That was a good one as well. There was one other one, but Malik Neighbors is a lot of people because they're like, it's 2028. I think Puka's a good one as well because it's in LA, 2028. But that's our team as if today the teams are made, because I do think this is why it's important to have NFL players in it for at least this year or for this Olympics, right? Because you get the personalities a part of it, and then it also shows these other countries, holy shit. I did laugh. I saw there's all these memes coming around now of a France quarterback being like, hut, and across him is Myles Garrett and Watt, and Aaron Donald comes out of retirement, like, hut. Like, hilarious to see this. A lot of these countries are going to see, holy shit, these guys are great. And it's one of these things where I would say it is very American for football. There's not as many countries that have came in, but I'm excited to see within the next 20 years how many countries now bring their players into the NFL. Whether they're playing rugby ahead of time, just like the left tackle for the Eagles, or they're playing lacrosse, or they're playing all these other sports that they're like, hey, I could bring this now to the NFL.
Right. Yeah, and that would be, and it's just like, because you're going to get, and I think they'll go young too.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to might see some, I don't know if it would be see 18-year-olds, but you're going to see like sophomore, juniors that are playing in college ball. I mean, that would play college, maybe playing on these flag teams as well. I mean, I don't know how many there are as far as in the college ranks right now. They're from overseas, but maybe you could see some more. Maybe some of the college players can, they'll get some college players from overseas. I don't know. I don't know how much football other countries are playing. I mean, I know they're trying to expand the NFL. What I read is that they're trying to expand it to 16 games in Europe.
Yeah.
In a couple of years. That's a lot of games over in Europe. A lot.
Yeah, I think you're going to see it, and even college football is doing it. I mean, they're having their couple games a year that are over in a different country. I definitely think you'll see it, but I think this first Olympics, you will not see any college players. I think as time goes on, you may see more college players.
Right.
Like, because the college players are going to be when the NFL players don't want to go. But even the second, third string NFL players are going to be like, I want to go. And those guys are still better than a lot of college players are. Speaking of college football, we got news coming out of college football. Teams for the college football playoffs will go to straight seeding model for the 2025-2026 postseason. If you remember last year, the conference winners got the 1 through 4, and then the rest of the teams separated. They are saying now the college committee will say who is in the top 16, because it will be not 12 this year, it'll be 16. Top 16 will make it to the playoffs. I did see that conference championships are still at stake as Big Ten and SEC are throwing a big fit because of what happened last year. What do you think about hearing about this?
This is what they should have done in the first place. I mean, they should. The 4 best teams get the buys. They get the home games. They get it. I mean, I don't think they get the home games, but they get the first round buys. Your 4 best teams should. That's how any other structure does it. As far as the Big Ten and the SEC complaining about it, maybe not my lifetime, but maybe in yours, they're gonna seed from the NCAA. They will. They're going to. They're gonna have their own tournament. I'm telling you that right now. I can see the writing on the wall. There's too much money. Fox, ESPN is going to say, okay, we're done NCAA with you guys. We're going with these guys, and we will give them whatever.
Yeah.
So it's coming. It's coming.
Well, in the conference championships, that's what colleges are nervous about, like the colleges, not the conferences, colleges, because there's so much money in the conference championships. So, like, the money you get from TV deals and stuff like that to be in a conference championship, I do laugh because the Big Ten and the SEC kind of complaining. Didn't we see, like, SEC dominate for, like, the last 15 years? Yeah. And 1 year where they don't have that team? But if you go back and look at this college football season, There is no team in the SEC that was better than Ohio State, hands down. And I would like to say that on any rainy day, there's about 2 teams in the SEC that I think were better than Notre Dame. Otherwise, you look at how the playoffs went down, I just don't think it changes anything. I think Big Ten has a better reason to complain,
right?
Because of Oregon, right? Oregon has a great season. I'm losing you there. You're all pixely on me, but I think like Oregon's the only one that can kind of complain because otherwise Arizona State ain't complaining. The teams that got the first round bye,
Boise State's not complaining.
Yeah, I mean they were just lucky to be there in this whole situation. I think your biggest conversation next with this playoffs is going to be who gets first round buys. Because first round buys may not actually be the greatest thing, as we saw last year, as all of them lost. Right. I think that's going to be the next conversation of, well, I don't want to get a first round buy. I want to play because of how long it is in between. So we'll definitely see when it comes to that. All right, we got to move on to the NBA because I will tell you right now, I've watched both NBA games because of how great they have been. But I'm going to go to my Cover 2 Cook analyst, Mr. Tim Cook. Tell me what has happened in this round of the playoffs.
Oh, I'm glad you asked. In Game 1, OKC won 114-88 with behind SGA's 31 points. I mean, he struggled early, but then in the second half, he came out smoking. Jalen Williams had a good game. OKC kind of took control in the second half as they closed the third quarter with a 20-6 run. OKC outscored Minnesota 70-40 in the second half. I mean, Minnesota looked really good with Randall and Ant-Man playing good in the first half, but they didn't look good in the second half. I think there's 3 keys. Anthony has got to shoot better. They have got to get more shooting out of him. I mean, he had 19 points, but he's got to shoot better than that. Yeah. I mean, they've got to start. They had too many turnovers too. Minnesota had 19 turnovers, which gave OKC 31 points. Maybe they need to start. They're going to have to get more offense out of DiVincenzo and Naz Reid. Naz Reid was 0 for 7 in 3-point land. Ooh, ouch. I mean, you just so they play again tonight, but I'm gonna try it right now. Minnesota's got to win. Yeah. Or this could be 5 games.
Or competitive. Yeah. Competitive.
More, yes. But I think that he always struggles the first game of a series. He has the whole deal, and his coach actually called him out in the last series. So he didn't really call him out this time, but they've got to play better. And it just seems like that OKC defense is just suffocate you. Yeah. I mean, they let you play for a little bit, feel you out, and then they just turn it on in the second half. They don't let you, they've got some pretty good players. They got that Caruso. I mean, it's a good team. I can see them making it to the finals. And then we had last night's game.
Holy shit.
I think this is good. Oh, this is going to be the series. This is going to be the series. This is much watch TV. Yep. I'm telling you that right now. I was watching it. Started out, I mean, the Pacers couldn't miss one. I mean, they were 9 for 9 in the first quarter. I mean, they just came out, and the Knicks had to have a 14-5 run to get it close, and everybody was driving to the basket. There was no defense in that paint area. Yep. I mean, both teams were just driving, and finally the Knicks kind of took it over in the second quarter, got a lead at halftime. The Knicks opened it up. They were up by as much as 17 in the third quarter, and they looked like they were going to put it away. But then they were actually up by 14 with 2:52 to go in the fourth. And Nesmith just started hitting threes. They just started clicking. And then they got it within 2. And then Halliburton comes down. It was a really weird play when you're watching. It was really weird. He starts to drive in the lane and goes, oh, wait. I didn't shoot a 3 for the win. And that ball bounced. And it's like, is it coming down? And then it finally comes out. It's like, that was so slop of a and then he goes over to Reggie Miller and does the choke sign.
Hell yes.
Miller's on the deal going, oh, that is hilarious. That is hilarious. I mean, but then in overtime, the Knicks kind of start out pretty good. And then Nembhard, their other player, starts kicking in. And they just kind of took over in that overtime. I hope every game is like this. I don't know if it will be. but it was exciting. You could just feel the electricity that was. I wish I was at MSG because that place had to be rocking last night. It was a good game. I thought.
Yeah, the last minute of the fourth quarter and all of overtime, everyone stood. There was no sitting down.
Right.
Like it was Tyrese Halliburton's shot though. Like I want to say this because I've heard it on social media. That was Jim Irsay. Jim Irsay's last post on social media was about the Pacers, and that ball going up that way and finding a way to come perfectly down. There's no other way outside of saying the Pacers may win the NBA championship because of that play. Like that was crazy. And for Tyrese Halliburton, which has done the big nuts, and then to do the choke, oh my gosh. It was like, I'm such a fan of the Pacers because of that play alone. But it was that series is going to be because it's the flash of the New York Knicks and how great that big city is with this small little market that just grinds and grinds and grinds. And let's also remember too, the Pacers didn't go on a 14-0 run. They scored 20, and the Knicks still scored 6 points. It wasn't like they just couldn't. They got lazy on defense.
Well, and this series is going to remind me of 95.
Yep.
When these two teams both played, it's nip and tuck. Nobody like each other. Yep. It's going to be just and Halliburton, I think, is thriving on this underrated player.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I'm not very good. He's been thriving this whole playoffs with it, and he's just taking it to the next level. I mean, I could, when I was watching the first quarter, they were just, both teams were just going, like they were just duking it out. It was a good game.
Well, and then Jalen Brunson getting a shot at the end in overtime. I didn't understand that as well, too. When it was overtime, they took the ball out of bounds, Indiana did, and they just let him pretty much dunk it. I mean, it was like an open – so they give Jalen Brunson a shot to tie it. He misses. Cat gets a chance to shoot it, and then it's just a scuffle on the ground.
Right.
And it was like one of these things where it was like, I will say if Indiana could take another one in New York, this series is over. Because they ain't losing at home. They are not they have so much momentum, but it's one of these silent confidence that they just have where they were down 14. That game was over. Like they could have easily put it away. Yep. It's over. And they came back and won. Oh man, I watched basketball last night because of that game. And I watched it a little bit because the hockey game looked like it was going to be a blowout, which then came out to be a different on the opposite side. Right.
Well, and game 2 is Friday night. It's going to be good. That place is going to be rocking. So I kind of like this way they're doing it, where they're playing Eastern and Western. They're going back and forth, and there's not much. They play every other night. That's the way the playoffs should be. But
and the NBA's been criticized by how long it's taken, and I feel like it's went absolutely perfect for them. Moving on to NHL playoffs, they also have 2 great series, if you're paying attention. Tuesday night, Panthers beat Carolina 5-2 to take a 1-0 lead. Now, the big conversation that came out of this game is Marchand trying to make a big hit. He then misses him. As he's going back on defense, the guy that he almost hit takes a shot from the other blue line and hits Marchand. Obviously, Marchand's like, what the hell's going on here? He fights him, gets the last laugh. I will say the Panthers in the third period were headhunting. They were up, and they were going out to smoke people. Carolina, if you're getting that frustrated that early, boy, you guys are done. You're already done before this series even started.
Because they're known for that, Anthony. Florida is known for just going after people.
Yep. I think game 2 tonight will be interesting. Why I say that is because nobody from the Florida Panthers commented on that conversation. Well, the last time we heard that was the Four Nations, and that started with a fight. I find it hard to believe that we will start with the fight tonight because it is playoffs. But Florida's known for it, man. Florida's known for saying, hey, you don't mess with us, and it's the new guy on the team. They got him midway through the season. I think Marchand, they're going to say, hey, we got one for you. Tkachuk is going to be the guy that I think fights for him. I just think that Carolina, if they got already to you off of one game, this next 3 games are going to be a little rough for you if you don't get your head out of your ass.
Well, they threw that guy out, too. Didn't he get thrown out from Carolina?
No.
I thought he did. I thought they threw him out.
Marchand went to the penalty box. The other guy, Carolina, went to this to the box, or not to the penalty box, but to his sideline or whatever they call that.
Right.
Hockey fan here. To their area because he was bleeding from smashing on the ground.
Okay.
And they were like, "What? He can't go back on the ice." So,
Gotcha.
but that is on tonight. I think that'll be a great game. Unfortunately, you'll hear this podcast tomorrow, so hopefully it is a great game that we're talking about. Wednesday night, last night, Edmonton gives up 5 goals in the third to lose 6-3. My wife literally says, "I thought hockey was a small scoring games." They lose 6-3. I will say this: 3 power play goals. They came out right in the third. I think they scored within a minute. They scored within the third minute, and they scored again within 5 minutes. Right off the bat of just coming out and saying, "Hey, this is our game." Edmonton has to play better defense. They cannot allow this. I will say they have all these star players that can score the goals, and all these stats, analytics of how fast. I had his name in my head, but I can't think of it now. How fast McDavid is, yeah.
Right.
How fast? Oh my gosh, he's 11 miles per hour faster than the next guy. Blah blah blah. Well, then play defense. You're up winning, and then you give up these goals. I will say, obviously the 6th goal was an empty net, things like that. But Edmonton, you controlled that game for 2 periods. The first period was kind of back and forth, but the second period, I almost turned it off and went to basketball because of how bad the Dallas was playing. But then, you kind of turn back on and there's a goal. Okay. Oh shit. Oh, now they took the lead and then they just put it on them. I think that series will get good. Hopefully, if Edmonton can find a way to play defense against Dallas. I also don't know if I trust Dallas putting up those amount of points that fast again.
Yeah.
I think they're a little hit or miss when it comes to goal scoring. I think the Jets kind of showed that. But
that's their downfall. Edmonton is they don't play no defense.
Yeah.
You can't try to outscore. You can't try to score 7, 8, 9 goals in the playoffs. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
You've got to play defense.
Well, and if you're going to do that, then you have to be more efficient on the power plays.
Right.
Like you understand that the other team's going to have power plays, but then if you are going to say we're going to outscore you every game, then you have to be damn near perfect on your power plays. And they just weren't that last night. So I think that game, that'll be on Friday night as well. Unfortunately for me, it's one of these things where tonight, I don't know if I'll watch much of the basketball. I'll watch the hockey. And then Friday night, I'm going to have both TVs on because I have to keep up on the hockey. But that basketball series is phenomenal. Yeah. We finish up episode 103. I hope everyone enjoyed what we did. If you want to follow us or see more clips from us, go to TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all those as well. We appreciate all our fans. I hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll be back on Tuesday to talk about all of the great sports that are happening. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you later.